next section is finding unknown coefficients, right? Okay, or basically they're going to give you a graph and you have to find the equation. Looking at the graph, you have to find the equation, okay? And you'll have to do it for two scenarios. You'll have to do it for a straight line or for, this is a U-shaped or an N-shaped, okay? So a U-shaped curve, so will I just say, or a curve, and then I'll put a U or an N-shape there. Okay, right? So that's the scenarios. Okay, so today I'm going to do the straight lines. On Monday I'll do the curves. Okay, so what you need to know is straight lines have the general equation y equals ax plus b, right? As in y equals 2x plus 7. That's a line, right? Okay, y equals 4x minus 1, that's a line. Y equals minus 3x plus 4, right, etc. They're all lines, right? They all have y equals something x plus or minus a number. So something x plus or minus a number. Also, guys, remember we're in the functions chapter, so y and f of x are the exact same thing. So sometimes you might see this written as f of x equals ax plus b, but remember y and f of x are the exact same thing, so you can swap them over for each other. Okay, right, so when you get your if you want to pause that now to write it down, I'm moving on to the next slide. Right, okay, so on the next slide, right, okay, I'm writing down the procedure. Okay, it won't make any sense now until we do an example. Okay, so when you're given the graph of the straight line, first off you have to look at the graph and write down any 2 points. You'll see they'll give you 2 points on the line because you can't do anything with it if they don't. So they'll definitely give you at least 2 points. So you need to write down those points, right? So remember, for each point you'll have an x term, an xy. A point is xy. So you take 1 point, right, and you put in whatever x is for x, and you put in whatever y is for y, right, okay, and you tidy up the equation and you'll end up with something a plus something b equals a number, okay, and you stop there. Then you take your second point and you do the exact same thing. Remember, your point is x and y, so you can fill in what x is, you can fill in what y is. You won't be able to fill in what a is and what b is, but you'll end up with an equation in a and b as well. It'll be something a plus something b equals a number. Then we do simultaneous equations, so that goes back to our algebra. I'll remind you of that now in a minute. Okay, so that's the procedure. As I say, it won't make any sense until we actually do an example. So if you want to pause that and write that down now, that'd be great. Okay, I'm gone. Right, okay, so here's my example. Right, okay, so here's my line. It's got 2 points on the line, right? This represents the function. So they told me it's something x plus or minus a number, right? And you have to find out what the something x and what the number is, right? So what you do is you take the first point. So the first point, I'll just take minus 1, 2 as my first point. And I'll take my general equation, y equals ax plus b. Now, because I have a point, I know x is minus 1 and I know y is 2, right? So everywhere I see an x, I'm going to put in minus 1. Everywhere I see a y, I'm going to put in a 2. So instead of that y, I'm putting in a 2, right? I don't know what a is, right? Instead of that x, I'm putting in a minus 1. And then I don't know what b is, so I can't fill in there. Okay, I'm going to play around with that. So I go 2, a by minus 1 is just minus a plus b. Now, and I bring the letters to the left and the numbers to the right. So when a comes over, it becomes a plus a. When b comes over, it becomes a minus b. And when 2 goes back that way, it becomes a minus 2. And stop there. That's how as far as you can go with that one. Okay, so then you take the second point. So the second point was 3 minus 2, right? So I'm going to start again, back up to this again. Everywhere I see an x, I'm going to put in a 3. Everywhere I see y, I'm going to put in a minus 2. So I'm going back to that again. So you get y equals ax plus b. So instead of that x, I'm going to put in a 3. Instead of y, I'm going to put in minus 2. So that y is minus 2. A, I don't know what it is. X is 3. And b, I don't know what it is. So that's minus 2 equals a multiplied by 3 is 3a plus b. So what I might do is just write that in, bring the a over, so it's minus 3a, bring the b over, minus b, right, and bring the minus 2 back this way, it's plus 2. And there's my second equation in the a and b, right? Okay. So I can't do anything with each equation by itself, but together I can do simultaneous equations. So what you do then is you write one under the other. Sorry, you might want to pause and write that down. Okay, so then you write one under the other. So the first equation was a minus b equals minus 2. Second one, minus 3a minus b equals 2. Okay. Now, simultaneous equations, we make the b's cancel. So we check is the number in front of them the same. There's a 1 here and a 1 here, so the numbers is the same. So that means I don't have to do any multiplying, right? 1 must be a plus, 1 must be a minus. They're both minuses, so I need to change the sign. So I'm going to change the sign of the second line. So minus 3a becomes a plus, minus b becomes a plus, right? And 2 becomes a minus. Okay, so everything gets a new sign. The minus b and the plus b cancel out. A and 3a gives me 4a. Right, minus 2 is minus 4. And then you're going to divide each side by 4. And you get a is equal to minus 4 divided by 4 is minus 1. Okay, remember you have to find out what b is. So you take the top equation, which is a plus b equals minus 2. Sorry, I'm just checking that's what it was. It's actually a minus b equals minus 2. Right, okay. And then a is minus 1. So instead of a, put in a minus 1. Right, okay. And leave your b, bring your numbers over. So minus b stays put, minus 2 stays put, minus 1 comes over the 1, becomes a plus 1. So minus b is equal to minus 2 plus 1 is minus 1. So that means b is equal to 1. So remember, the equation was y equals ax plus b. So that's y equals, I just figured out that a is minus 1. So it's minus 1x plus b, which is plus 1. And that's your answer. That's your equation of your line. Okay? So do you want to pause and write that down? Okay, and I'm going to do example 2 now. So example 2, same thing, right? Okay, I think this is for 10. Right, okay. So here's a line, here's 2 points on the line, here's the general equation for a line, find out what that a stands for and what that b stands for. So you take first point, minus 2, minus 8, right? Into the general equation, which is y equals ax plus b. Everywhere I see an x, I'm putting in a minus 2. Everywhere I see a y, I'm putting in a minus 8. So you get minus 8 equals a times minus 2 plus b. So you don't know what a and b is, that's what you're trying to find out. So minus 8 equals minus 2a plus b. And remember, from my simultaneous equations, I really want a term, b term equals number. So minus 2a comes over, becomes plus 2a. Plus b comes over the wall, becomes minus b. And minus 8 goes the other way and becomes a plus 8. And that's as far as I can go with that one. Okay? So that's one equation for my simultaneous equations. To get my second one, I take my second point. So my second point is 4, 10. Right? Everywhere I see an x, I put in a 4. Everywhere I see y, I put in a 10. So I take the general equation again, which is y equals ax plus b. So instead of that y, I'm putting in a 10. Instead of that x, I'm putting in a 4. And I don't know what a or b is, so I can't fill in for those. Okay, so then I get 10 is equal to 4a plus b. And as I said, I want a term, b term equals number. So 4a comes over, becomes minus 4a. plus b comes over, becomes minus b, and 10 goes back the other way and becomes minus 10. So there's my second equation for my simultaneous equations. Pause and write that much down. Okay, so then I take my two equations. So I had 2a minus b equals 8. I have minus 4a minus b equals minus 10. So I want to cancel the b's, so I check the numbers in front of them. This is 1b and 1b, so the numbers are right, so I have no multiplying to do. Then I check is one a plus and one a minus. They're both minuses, so I need to change the signs of one line. So I'm going to change the signs of the second line. So minus 4a becomes a plus 4a. Minus b becomes a plus b, and minus 10 becomes a plus 10. Right? The b's cancel, minus b plus b gone. 2a and 4a gives me 6a. And 8 and 10 gives me 18. So there's a 6 stuck to the a, so divide each side by 6, and you get a is equal to 3. Okay, so then go back to a minus b equals 8. I've just figured out that a is 3, so it's 2 times 3 minus b equals 8. 2 times 3 is 6 minus b equals 8. Letters on one side, numbers on the other. Moving the 6, the minus b stays put. 8 is where you want it to be. The 6 comes over and becomes a minus 6. So that means minus b is equal to 2. So that means plus b is equal to minus 2. So then just your general equation was ax plus b. So you figure out that a is 3, so that means it's 3x. And b turned out to be minus 2. So there's the equation of your line, and that's your answer. Okay? Right. Pause, write it down. Okay, and then for the next day, I'd like you to do page 151, question 4 and question 7. Now question 4 is just a short version, just fill in for x and y. Right? You don't, there's no simultaneous equations, it's just 1 point, fill in for x and y and solve, okay? And question 7 is exactly like the examples we've just done, okay? And we'll have a live class on Monday. Bye, have a nice weekend.